Alright, what's up, guys, and welcome to More Than a Conversation, episode number 6. As usual, I am joined today by Forever the Arrowverse.
Hello.
Hello. And so, today we have something very special for you. We are having an entire pod dedicated to ranking Marvel movies. So first,
Specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yeah, specifically Marvel Cinematic Universe. So what we're going to do for y'all today is we are going to do some blind reviews in the beginning, and then we'll transition to reviewing all of the Marvel movies from S through F tier. But alright, so Forever, you want to go ahead and kick us off?
Yeah, you got a little notepad next to you so you can write down these.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and also do. Yeah, I got a notepad set up, but I'll also go ahead and do this, just so people can see the Marvel movies and shows that could be talked about.
Okay. All right. First one is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Which one? Ant-Man and the Wasp or Quantumania?
The second one, not Quantumania.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ooh, that one. Ant-Man and the Wasp, to me, it always got poor reviews, and it honestly didn't really interest me that much. So I'll go ahead and slap that one as my number 5. I may regret it, but I'm going to slap that as my number 5.
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been many MCU movies that are below that. Next, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor: Love and Thunder. See, Thor: Love and Thunder, to me, that was a load of comedy, and there was some like funny bits in there, but it just felt more like a weird movie. I still enjoyed it more than I did Ant-Man and the Wasp, but yeah, definitely that's got to be my number 4 slot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Loki season 1.
Loki season 1. Oh my word. Because I fell in love with Loki. Loki is by far, out of all the Marvel shows listed,
Fan favorite from day one.
Fan favorite from day one. There's only a couple of things on this list that could beat Loki, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, just for a safe bet, I'm going to slap Loki at number 2 on the list.
It's a solid bet.
Solid. Alright. So I think
Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1. Oh, that one's so nostalgic. I'm just putting my last thing in the notes real quick. Thor. Thunder. And then this one was Loki. Okay, so Iron Man 1. I remember as a little kid first getting into the MCU, and Iron Man 1 was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it being one of those earliest Marvel movies I watched alongside, Captain America: First Avenger.
Uh-huh.
So this comes to a very interesting point, because I know Iron Man 1 has a very close spot in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of that iffy point, because what gets put, if I put Iron Man 1 at number 1,
I will say this. I have already prematurely picked my next movie, so whatever your decision is, my pick does not change based on whether or not you put them at 1 or 3. I will say that.
I feel like you're going to troll me, but I think I'm going to put Iron Man 1 at number 3, because I definitely enjoyed Moon Knight way more than Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 just has nostalgia to me.
Or not Moon Knight.
I mean, not Moon Knight. That's
Loki.
Loki. For some reason, I was looking at the Moon Knight image, like analyzing the profile pic.
All right, so you want to take a guess at what your number 1 movie on this list is?
It's probably going to end up being like Multiverse of Madness or like Hawkeye or something.
No, it is Phase 4 though. It's Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings.
No, I get behind that. That was absolutely a banger of a movie. I probably enjoyed Loki. Nope, I can't. I can't say that. I enjoyed Shang Chi more than Loki. I actually.
So you're overall, you're like very happy of how you're listing
Yeah,
it out.
I'm very, very, very happy with how my list went. So I'll go
You're
ahead.
about to troll me hard. I will say this. I will say this before people, our only two viewers attack me for this my upcoming ranking. I will say I do have a lot of Marvel hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
I am very hard and critical of the MCU, but that comes out of place of love because I love superheroes, and if you're just doing them awfully, that hurts. So why don't you recap your list for
All right. So my list and the blind review is Ant-Man and the Wasp came in at number 5. Thor: Love and Thunder came in at number 4. Iron Man 1 at 3. Loki season 1 get that number 2 spot, and Shang-Chi has my number 1 slot on my blind review.
Not bad.
All right. So you ready for this?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. I've been trying to brainstorm and get some goodies here. So first one I'm going to hit you off the bat with is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Okay. See, this is a top 3 MCU film for me. The only film that beats it, in my opinion, is Infinity War, and we got so much of a pool. I don't think you're gonna, I don't think you're giving me Infinity War. So my number 1 slot is already taken.
All right, so Captain America and the Winter Soldier goes into your number 1.
The 1 slot.
All right. Next thing I'm gonna hit you with is the Black Widow movie.
Okay. I don't think that this movie is as bad as everyone seems to make it. It just comes so significantly late. Yeah. And it just feels irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I think that's a safe 4.
Let's say 4. Okay. Black Widow at 4. Okay. Now how about the first Doctor Strange movie?
Okay. I really enjoyed the film. I did.
You did?
But there are a lot of MCU projects that are probably above it. I'm gonna go 3.
3? Okay, so Doctor Strange at Arrows 3. Okay. All right. The first Incredible Hulk movie, well, the only Hulk movie, The Incredible Hulk.
See, that's tough because it's not a number 2 film. It's good in my opinion.
Just so you know, all of these I picked all 5 of mine out before before you even spoke to me about.
All right. See, okay. By default, it has to go 5. I mean.
Yeah. So, Incredible.
Who's number 2? I feel like I should have let Strange be number 2.
Your number 2 is, what's funny is you mentioned it earlier and said it was probably the only film that could beat Winter Soldier.
Really?
It really
was.
You
pulled Winter Soldier and Infinity War in one listing?
Yes, I did. I picked this list.
I'm not actually mad at this. I'm not actually mad at this at all. That's crazy.
So yeah, so Forever's Blind Five.
Yeah, so The
Forever's
Incredible
Blind
Hulk
Five. Okay.
at 5,
Okay.
Black Widow at 4, Doctor Strange at 3, Infinity War at 2, and The Winter Soldier at 1.
Which
I mean,
honestly,
they don't get much better than that. I
no,
mean,
you really
you could
don't.
argue 1 and 2 could be changed,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're the 2 best MCU movies probably. So
Probably. And so that wraps up our blind review of the Marvel uh, Marvel movies. My blind
comment
five and Aerosmith five.
comment if you're interested in seeing other blind rankings and what franchises we should do them on.
Well, and also, while you're at it, after this podcast, also leave a like and tell us a comment of your top 5 Marvel movies or shows. What would your top 5 be?
And if Eternals is in that, then please delete that comment.
Yeah, if Eternals just so happens to be in that list, may God help your soul. That's all I'll say. But anyway, hopping into the ranking the films from S through F tier. How I want to do this is.
Are we doing it in like release date, or are we just doing random ones?
We're gonna do it randomly. Well, not really randomly. I think we do shows first.
Okay.
And then go into movies.
Okay. All right. Okay. Again, I will tell you this now. There's probably 2 or 3 MCU movies that I have ranked S tier. Yeah. So you're really gonna have to convince me on other films if you want to put on S tier.
I know.
You're gonna have to convince me hard.
Yeah, because I already know there's a couple in here that I have at S tier as well.
That you know for sure I'm not putting in there.
Yeah, they're these ones I know that they're gonna be S tier, or no, I know that that's what I feel they are. Then there's some other ones that I know that I'll probably have at higher ranks than what you would put them, but I can't bring myself to be that guy and be like, oh yeah, this show that only I watched and enjoyed in my entire family, yeah, that's definitely an S tier show right there.
I mean, that's the whole point of this. Is if you feel strongly about it, convince me. Yeah. I'm easily persuaded. I'm not easily persuaded, but I am lenient on rankings if you make a good argument.
Yeah, and so
because we are co-hosts, so I don't. Yeah. You know, we are ranking this together. You feel me?
Yeah. So all right, doing a little left to right panorama, we see that the first show that we're going to go over is WandaVision. So, personally, I didn't watch every episode of WandaVision. I was just in a really busy part of life and didn't get the chance to.
That was like your senior year of high school, wasn't it?
Well, I can't remember if it was I think it was senior year of high school and first semester at college.
Yeah,
and I was doing all this while getting used to my first job and everything. So I never really stopped to watch it, but I did watch a couple of episodes and saw the season finale and stuff like that.
If you only watched the first 2 and then skip to the finale, you're probably gonna have a lot lower rating.
Yeah.
Than if you got the full experience.
Yeah.
This is the best Marvel show.
Really?
The best MCU show. Yeah. It's not S tier, but it is A, in my opinion.
A tier? A tier?
Yeah.
Alright.
But nothing gets better than this.
Yeah.
You could argue Loki is tied with it. But WandaVision was really, really good.
Yeah, and so for me, from what I saw of it, I definitely enjoyed the show because I like the more in-depth look is at Wanda as a character. Because we
really just setting up Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, it did a good job in kind of setting up Multiverse of Madness, and then also just for Wanda, it's basically, it feels like a character that's been thrown from movie to movie, and we haven't been able to really dive into her life. The most in depth we got with her was Infinity War when it starts showing her in
Well,
Vision. That's
well,
the way I look at it.
Age of Ultron did a really good job with
Yeah,
introducing them.
introducing her.
You know, we did get the background of whatever that place is, Slovenia or
Sokovia.
whatever, Sokovia, their childhood. We got their imprisonment, pretty much. So we have gotten a lot of her life. So
14. 3 times. I'm just doing some math to see how many movies and shows there are and figure out like how fast we need to run through them because we've gone through 15 minutes already. And so I want to see.
I can guarantee there's going to be multiple projects on this this list that I'm just going to tell you straight up what it is, and that's going to be it. Like it's not going to be worth reviewing.
And so back on WandaVision, the parts that I saw, I really enjoyed, and I like it to see like the depth and the emotion of a character, and like the mother with heartbreaking stuff trying to hold to her kids. But
her kids that she created.
Her kids that she created
in her mind.
In her mind, it made very interesting plot and story. But you know they did a good job showing it in the shows. So for me, I think it would probably have to be like a B tier show because there's 2 shows in here that I put above it.
Really?
Yeah.
2. So I'm guessing that's gonna be Loki and Moon Knight.
Totally. That Moon Knight was that one like show that like so. Before I think we go ahead and like transition into Moon Knight next because that's what the direction was kind of headed. So
what are we ranking WandaVision?
WandaVision, it's between A or B, and comparing it at face value to the rest of the shows, it is stronger compared to like the other shows on the list. And so I can probably like move it up to an A tier show up there with you.
You also didn't watch it in its entirety.
That's so the main reason.
You gotta just trust me that it's an A tier show.
Yeah, I feel like if I would have watched more of it, I probably could have got more enjoyment out of it. But just with what I witnessed, yeah. And so we were kind of talking about Moon Knight there for a second, but Moon Knight, it felt like that show that me and my family tried to watch it together, but every person in my family got bored of it instantly, and I was the only one that was looking forward to like every episode of Moon Knight. Yeah,
bored of it. Interesting.
Yeah, and so my family, they didn't really enjoy it, but me personally, I was like anticipating the release of every episode like coming out like every single week. And so
typically with MCU shows, I typically wait until it's over and I just binge them. So I don't really like actively shiver me timbers every week for an episode. But I mean, I'm good with it being an A tier.
Yeah. All right, Messiah.
I'm not really gonna argue with that on that.
Yeah, and so actually, I kind of missed that. I was fixing a technical difficulty, but where were you gonna slap Moon Knight? Sorry.
I was giving it a B, but it was a high B, so it was like an 88, 89.
Yeah.
So I'm not too upset with bumping it a point.
Well, so. the thing for me is I actually have a part where the show actually gets lowered, in my opinion. I love the show in every single episode on it, but it's the
last episode,
the season finale.
Yeah,
it kind of ruined it a little bit, and so that's why I would move it down to a high tier B as well.
Okay. All right.
So that's the legitimately love the show, fell in love with the characters. I think that the main actor, I forget his name, which is bad because he's a Star Wars actor too.
Oscar something.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, he did Miguel on Spider-Verse 2.
I knew that too. But Oscar Isaac, I think he did a really good job, playing the two guys going back and forth. and stuff.
Convention. Yeah.
And then
I think
introducing like the third guy at the end.
My favorite part of the entire show was when he got killed, and
like when he
woke up
turned
the
stone into
that white insane asylum, and then he had to like go through like the whole Egyptian afterlife type thing.
To me, the most powerful moment in like the entire show was when the nervous version of him, I forget his name, but the nervous version, gave his life and like turned to stone in the desert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually cried at that scene.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I did.
You know what went really hard? You know what really hard in that show though?
The giant hippo character.
The first, but like the first like episode or two.
Oh yeah.
Like the transitions.
Yeah.
Like of him like being a normal person but seeing the reflection of Moon Knight and like mirrors and stuff. Bro, that went hard.
It did. It was like kind of like psychological type stuff.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Which is ironic because that was the entire base of the season he was dual personalities and crap.
All right. So next show in the line is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I watched every episode to this, but I can't say it really held my attention in every episode. Like I liked getting to see like a Bucky redemption arc, making up for the sins of his past.
Love that. Yep.
But the whole like terrorist getting super soldier serum and
the whole super soldier serum thing was so bullcrap.
Yeah, it kind of like because like they always played this card of like the super serum was something that it couldn't be recreated. It was basically just limited to Captain America essentially, and
not only that point, even if you did do the secret, even if it worked, it doesn't necessarily mean that it would work for you. It could kill you.
Yeah, and now suddenly it's like there's a drug out there making people super soldiers and stuff.
Right. I mean, it's not a bad show in the sense of it kind of just showing the emotional battle for both of them. So, Bucky had to go through with like he's not brainwashed anymore.
Yeah.
Him
like
having to live.
That whole scene with the what was it? The old man that he spent a lot of his time with, and he had killed that guy's son, and he was just sitting there like enjoying coffee with the guy, knowing in his mind that he killed his son. That
was so brutal.
And then he finally built up the courage to like come and tell him. It was just like, I'm the reason your son's dead type deal. And I was like, oh my god.
And then it tackled pretty well with Sam.
Yeah, transitioning into like
and not feeling accepted as a black man to be Captain America type things. Yeah. So they really did great on the emotional aspects.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty much it.
Yeah, there was.
They didn't have as great chemistry as obviously Steve and Bucky does.
Yeah,
and I feel like even though he's taken the role of Captain America, he shouldn't take every aspect of Captain America's life. I think he should be, still himself and still Sam.
Yeah.
And so I mean, personally for me, it's a C tier.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
Honestly, I vibe with that. It definitely feels like that. It feels like it set the basis for what the TV shows are going to be like. Because if I remember, this was the first one that came out like right there. That all these kind of came out back to back. Like it was like
WandaVision came first, and then
WandaVision came first, and then it was like Winter Soldier and Loki came around the same time.
Loki was a little bit later.
I know, but it just still Steve would be first.
Yeah, so
I would definitely slap it.
C tier, definitely.
C tier, definitely.
Yeah.
Moving on, right after that we got Loki. Um, I feel
I
it's
mean,
an
we can
A
go ahead and
tier.
get this out the way.
I feel like
I
it's
mean,
an A
yeah, it's
tier.
eight. I mean, you could argue the case that it's as good, if not better. It's definitely as good as WandaVision, if not better.
Yeah.
But it's the only show that could rival WandaVision. So I feel like them two alone being an A tier feels accurate.
I've got a phone call to answer.
Oh no!
Hello.
Who's calling you?
I'm sitting here recording the podcast for the week with my mate.
Bro, tell Robbie to hang up,
right.
bro.
I know. Bye.
Who was that, bro?
It was my mom. She was wanting me to go cut, or she's gonna walk me through on how to like cut all the Arizona in the church, but she knows that I do this podcast every week, so she's like, look, I will she's like, just call me back once you're done with the podcast and I'll walk you through how to do everything after.
I thought it was Robbie just calling me to tease with you.
But yeah, Loki definitely A tier, and I'm super excited for season 2 coming out soon.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I'm so glad they're not pushing that back to the
yeah,
the strike and everything. So
yeah, I'm excited for it. So yeah, Loki was an easy A tier. Now we have What If. Personally, I loved What If. I like the idea and the concept behind it. But what's your thoughts on it?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I never watched it.
Never watched it.
Mm-mm.
See, I thought it
Okay,
was
so to reiterate, I don't usually watch the shows week to week. I usually wait until they're all done and just binge it.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of the show was just to give you different alternate versions of the storyline.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like it actually contributed to anything.
Yeah.
So I never actually took the time to watch it. It's definitely something I need to watch.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
That's where we got
whatever
introduced to
you rank
Agent
this,
Carter, who showed up in Multiverse of Madness. That's where we met Agent
yeah, but
Carter.
that didn't really serve any purpose because again, Multiverse of Madness was a multiverse movie, so that in and of itself was the explanation needed.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna let you rank it.
For me,
based on you,
I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I like getting to see the different perspectives and like what things could have been. There were some weird ones, like if the zombie apocalypse broke out, and
yeah.
And then there was like they went over.
From what I saw on like Instagram and stuff, like it didn't look like it was bad.
Yeah.
Visually, at least.
Yeah. Like
So-
I liked the Agent Carter storyline, but there were some things that they went a little extra on, like if Black Panther was Star-Lord.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It can't be Black Panther and Star-Lord.
And apparently, according to
But
what
were they just saying was if T'Challa was Star-Lord?
Yeah, if they found T'Challa instead of Peter. But basically, they go in, and in that one, it's just like if T'Challa was Star-Lord instead of Peter, then basically all these things work out. Nebula is good. Thanos is good. All these
They did that all based on T'Challa?
all based off T'Challa being Peter Quill alone. Like everyone is like good, and like Thanos is part of the good guys.
I feel like that just reiterates
That was too
my
far of a
point
stretch.
I feel like that just reiterates my point that Star-Lord's just so bad.
If it
Just
wasn't
a
for
terrible
Star-Lord,
character.
Thanos would be a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna let you, if I could rank it non-biasedly and obviously not watching it, just like on the outskirts, it'd probably be a C.
That's what I was thinking too. I mean, I can't base an entire show off the strong episodes.
There isn't anything much that's E or F tier for me. I know going into that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could argue that it's a D.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's still that like high D, early C. So
Yeah.
I don't mind giving it the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
'Cause I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah. Next show is the Hawkeye. Um, I thought it was fun. It was interesting seeing it. It felt more like a Christmas special, being it all like took place
Mm-hmm.
over the course of Christmas and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it felt slow, and Kate, she felt a little annoying on a couple episodes. So, I mean, it wasn't my favorite of all the shows, but it was still enjoyable for what it was. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't too much to be said about it. And now it's like one of the.
I have a My problem with Hawkeye is like the same that I have with Black Widow, is that these two Avengers are getting their solo project per se
way after their prime time.
Too late, far too late, and the only purpose of this is to show a younger version of the same character that they're trying to replace.
Yeah.
You know, Yelena was replacing Black Widow, and Kate Bishop is replacing Hawkeye. So that's my main problem. That's why I give it a C.
Same.
Echo wasn't very impressive either.
Echo? Oh, I haven't seen Echo.
No, not the show. She was in the episode.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about, because now they're gonna make her own show. Yeah.
And Kingpin was a little how should I put it? PG-13 rated.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't have a choice at the time. I don't think they should have introduced Kingpin.
Yeah.
That was a creative decision that I would not have done yet.
Yeah.
So for those main point reasons right there, that's why I rate it low.
Yeah.
I for sure, you can't deny that Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner have chemistry on screen. Like, they worked very well together.
Yeah.
But the whole point of that was to eventually get rid of Hawkeye. So
yeah. And so it's like the chemistry was good for what we had, but we probably won't see it much anymore now that Hawkeye stepped on the scene.
Yeah.
So next show is Miss Marvel, and to be honest, I didn't watch this one.
If I could rate it anywhere below F tier, I would. But since you only have F, so we're just gonna go F.
Yeah, because
there's not much to say. I mean, the show's just really, really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Marvel in general is like a really annoying character.
Yeah.
So.
And like even watching the trailers for like the Marvels coming out, she still carries that annoying personality over to
it. Yeah, it's so that movie's gonna be so trash.
Yeah. But
I'm still gonna go watch it though.
Yeah. She-Hulk.
So this is where the D tier comes in. I mean, there's probably not gonna be a lot of play here on the D tier.
It gets a D for Daredevil.
That's the only thing, man. Daredevil was like the saving highlight.
Yeah.
You know, it got off to a decent start. You know, episode 1 had episode 2, and then basically you were just waiting until Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it was.
And
I hate to say it, and there was a bunch of filler episodes. I think this is like the longest running MCU show with like 8 or 9 episodes.
Yeah.
Far too many episodes for this.
Yeah. And then
like the whole episode that she went to a wedding, like that was like one of the worst episodes of not just superheroes but anything I've ever seen.
Yeah. And what else was it? I hated the direction it went with the season finale. Like, she legitimately shattered the fourth wall to the point she basically came to reality and like interrogated Robo Kevin Feige.
Yeah, that was so bad.
It really
was. A creative decision that I would not have greenlit.
Yeah.
Her breaking the fourth wall, period, let alone coming out of the screen. Although I thought it was cool to physically watch, I was like midway, and then she just popped out of my screen, and I thought I had exited out of Disney Plus somehow.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck is going on? And then it was still the show. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it served no purpose.
Yeah. All right. Now moving on to the new kid on the block, Secret Invasion.
I don't think it's as bad as Miss Marvel, but it's not as good as She-Hulk. So I'd
Really?
say E. I'd say E tier.
Really?
Yeah,
I actually
I'm not fond of it.
when
I
it
think
came.
it
Okay, you go ahead.
I think it butchers Nick Fury's reputation
Yeah.
that they've spent since day one building,
Yeah.
and just to throw it all the way on the drain for this, it just
Yeah. See, for me, I
not for
loved
me.
the story idea, and I actually thoroughly like enjoyed the show as a whole. The
Hmm.
season finale
Yeah,
got a
like
little.
Secret Invasion is it's a good, intriguing storyline, but they just poorly executed it.
Yeah, and
And I
so
think I remember reading somewhere that when whoever was hired as the director to like direct the series, Marvel told them specifically to not read the comics because the show has nothing to do with the comic storyline.
dang.
And you can't create a show like that
Yeah.
and not have any base like in like
See, and
small
so like
things to like, you
for
know what I'm
me,
saying?
the thing is the show did some like interesting things because like even like when it got to the season finale, it had some like cool like cliffhangers like I know you haven't fully watched the show, but like in the season finale, it shows like Nick Fury come up to the big bad at the end, and like Nick Fury acts like he's like dying to the radiation and stuff, and the guy pumps or turns on the machine to like create the super scrolls, and then after it's all like said and done, he gets ready to like start beating Fury up, and Fury like stops his punches and then gets like a Hulk arm and punches him through the wall, and come to find out it was Talos's daughter all along, and then it had like this big unveil that it was like never Fury that was at the Chernobyl place or whatever, and Fury was actually getting ready to save the president, and so that was a cool concept. I didn't like how
This
over
whole talk that she's like the most powerful MCU being now is
yeah
just utterly ridiculous.
they made the Super Scrolls overpowered essentially, because for
Look,
me
I don't like Captain Marvel, but you can't say that Captain Marvel is not clearly the most powerful
yeah.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, and so when I
You've
watched,
seen this chick for like 20 minutes in action, and you're saying she's the most powerful being? Like, come on,
yeah, and
get a
so
grip.
for me, like my first interaction with Super Scrolls came in one of the old Fantastic Four TV shows, or it was either Fantastic Four or a collab they did in one of the old Avengers cartoons, and the Super Scrolls only abilities were that of the Fantastic Four. So you had the
Hmm.
scrolls that could catch on fire, turn invisible, stretch, and become rock like
Hmm.
the Thing, and that was
Right.
all we saw from the Super Scrolls and from the original cartoons, or not original cartoons, but the Avenger cartoons. And then even in like the Lego video games, they only gave the Super Scrolls the Fantastic Four superpowers. Then it's like they show up here and now they're like busting out like powers from every superhero that we've seen in the MCU is basically what it
Yes.
boils down to.
I mean, I don't know what you rate it, but I probably wouldn't go anything above D.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to give it a D, I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
I don't. Again, I don't know your rating. You haven't said it yet, so.
Yeah, because the thing is I love the show and I enjoyed it so much. But the thing is they did some interesting things, like with that making the Super Scrolls overpowered, with that coming out that Rhodey's been a Skrull since Civil War, with
Yeah, that's wild.
then there was the whole now the world's going into domestic terrorism because everyone knows they're scrolls, and people are just starting to kill world leaders to see if they're scrolls or not. Like you watch the British Prime Minister just get shot in the face only to come out that, oh, she's not a scroll. And so it like throws the world into chaos at the end. And then they weakened Nick Fury's reputation because Nick Fury seems like this cool super spy detective dude, and come to find out the whole reason he has so much information is in so much super spy is because he had scrolls going around getting information
Yep.
and superhero DNA the entire time. And it was just like
Yep.
this whole, instead of him being like this super cool spy guy, it's just he was handed information over his entire career. And so I was like, if I was basing the show off an enjoyment aspect, it's a B, but based off what it's done to the characters in the MCU, yeah, it's got to go to D. It's enjoyable, but it messed up a lot of things for me. So that wraps up our shows. Now, let's dive into the movies, and we just hit the 40-minute mark already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's rabble through some like easy ones.
Yeah.
At least.
Quantumania, I say D tier, made me laugh, but
I'll give it a D tier solely for Kang. That's it.
Christmas
Everything
special,
else was trash.
Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, E tier.
I have not seen it.
I saw it, super lame. Super cringy, super lame.
And that's coming from you, who's a Guardian stan.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is Peter's depressed about Gamora, and so, like, the Guardians go...
Oh my god, get over it,
and
bro.
they go and they, like, kidnap Kevin Bacon and, like, turn
my
nowhere
god.
into Christmas Wonderland.
So, F tier?
E tier because it has
so bad.
E tier because it has Star-Lord in it.
That's so bad. Imagine being
But it was
Kevin
funny though
Bacon
because
getting pitched that.
It was funny seeing Mantis and Drax chase Kevin Bacon through the streets of like this little town with a giant candy cane saying you gotta come with us.
Bro, imagine you're Kevin Bacon and you're sitting at home, you're chilling, and your agent calls you for like this 15-minute Guardian special about getting chased by Peter Quill.
All right, another one, Eternals. E for Eternals.
Actually, D.
D. I vibe with it.
Yeah, I like Eternals more than I do Ant-Man in the Quantumania. That might be a little bit of a hot take, but I like it more than Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I don't think it's as good as Secret Invasion or She-Hulk, but yeah.
Is Secret Invasion better than She-Hulk, though?
No,
really?
Absolutely not.
I think it's better than She-Hulk. That's beside
me and Secret Invasion got beef, bro.
Okay. Another quick one, Multiverse of Madness.
C.
That one, it's like on your mind. You want it to be quick, but at the end of the day, you know it did some things for.
There's a lot to dissect in that.
We can come back to that one later. So, Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World, probably a D.
Yeah.
Again, E and F is. That's kind of funny how I said D tier wasn't going to be used much, and now it's like.
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World's actually better than Quantumania.
Better than Eternals.
And better than the Eternals.
Better than Secret Invasion.
We'll stop there. You could make a case. They're really close, but you can make a case.
Okay, then we got what's another quickie? We can do Werewolf by Night. I personally love this show, but you probably didn't see it, did you?
It's a special. I haven't got around to it yet, but I've heard really, really great things. So if you want to rate it A or B, I'm for that.
Yeah, I'll put it.
I'm for that. I'm all for horror aspects.
I love how
coming
B tier
into
is
the
just
Marvel
my
Cinematic
movies.
Universe.
B tier is just my movies.
No,
that was like my thing. Like I loved that like period of time with Moon Knight and Werewolf by Night.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for like darker aspects coming into this MCU. So.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
E. Yeah, that movie's so
Better
forgettable.
Than the Holiday Special.
Oh, for sure. But I'm pretty sure the only thing that's going to be an F is Miss Marvel. That's probably the only thing.
Yeah. So that narrows it down a lot. There is a couple more. Age of Ultron. What do you think of it?
C tier.
C tier.
I think it's the best in C tier, so it's better than Winter Soldier, or it's better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm good with that.
Another.
I think Age of Ultron slept on.
Yeah.
I think it's good. It's just it could be better. It's not when you think of the 4 Avengers movies, they're all like pretty much S tier or A tier, and then Age of Ultron just it's not as good as them, so it kind of, you know.
Then we can go in Black Widow.
Black Widow.
I'm just trying to like go of these like based in like my head technically. Like I know one that I have lower than this, and that's Thor: Love and Thunder.
You have lower than what?
Black Widow. So
really?
That's why.
That's the only 2.
What?
I think Thor and Black Widow are both D tier.
Where do we put Love and Thunder on the D tier spectrum?
Better than She-Hulk, so it's up there.
Yeah. And then Black Widow
is better than She-Hulk, but not as good as Thor.
I vibe with it.
I'm actually a lot more lenient on Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, after I've watched it several more times.
From a character and storytelling aspect, because I loved to write and I loved character development, and I thought he had great character development, and he used really, really bad jokes as a way to cope with his pain. So it was going to be like this utterly cheesy movie. So I'm more lenient on that, but it doesn't always.
Did you also notice that this whole pendulum is the Disney era Marvel movies so far? And we haven't really hit the OG stuff yet. Well, there's some big Disney ones in here, but we haven't hit like the OGs yet. Okay, I figure these can be quickies kind of too, but the Guardians movies, so Guardians 1, I enjoyed Guardians 1 more than the rest of them. It's my favorite out of all of them.
I think you know my opinion of the Guardians movies.
I know you would put all of them in F, but
no, I need you to convince me, because I know you were gonna want to put Guardians 1 S tier or A tier.
No, I was actually gonna put Guardians 1 at B tier and the other 2 at C tier.
Okay, I'm actually okay with that. I'm actually okay with that.
Guardians 1
is Guardians better than Werewolf by Night?
Not better than Moon Knight.
But it's not better than Moon Knight.
Moon Knight has a special place in my heart. Then we've got Volume 2.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Volume 2 is like really trash.
Yeah,
like I think that's like easier, to be honest. But I'm not gonna go that low for you. But I think a good compromise is D tier.
Yeah,
like better than the Dark World.
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
And 3, it was better than 2, definitely. So I say we can just put it like.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting for the Disney Plus release.
I enjoyed it. It was
it never took me to the theaters, so
yeah. You know, I can't take you to the theater every week,
me, bro. Yeah, you can. What you mean, bro?
Okay.
That was actually before we started doing the podcast, though. So.
Yeah. But all right, let's go.
Wait, is Guardians 3 better than? I feel like Guardians 3. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it's better than What If, at least.
Yeah. I just wasn't paying attention. I say it's better than all the shows, personally.
You think it's better than Age of Ultron?
Because I gotta think hard on it, because I like the character development they got. Because Peter finally gets his closure on Gamora. Rocket finally, like, he has a big character arc. But then I don't like how they kind of like all just split up at the end of it. But I guess that's their way of getting rid of the Guardians but keeping Peter.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'd
probably just put it right there for now.
I'm not mad at that.
Now, going left to right.
I love how we haven't put a single movie in S tier yet.
Yeah. The Incredible Hulk movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, probably the
I'm
earliest
good with
Marvel
like
movie
the
I
bottom
remember.
barrel of D.
What?
I think I'm good with the bottom barrel of D.
Bottom of D?
Yeah.
Um,
It's a good movie. It
yeah.
just when you're like ranking the MCU, it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
acknowledge that movie.
because definitely because like the different actor and like
Yeah.
timelines. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an interesting one. So Iron Man 1,
A tier.
A tier definitely.
Again, I'm very scarce
Better than
on
the
the S tiers.
shows. Better than the
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. That's definitely like that movie just carries a lot of nostalgia with it. For in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's still really good. It's like
Hmm.
one of the best origin stories that
Yeah.
we'll probably ever get to see for Iron Man in general.
Yeah.
But origin stories are very difficult to
Yeah.
make.
Iron Man 2.
Um, see,
See?
it's not a great movie, but it's better than all the shows for sure. I think.
Thor.
Thor, the first one,
Yeah.
I think it's C, but it's like first C, so it's better than Age of Ultron.
I agree with that. The Captain America movie. The
The
first
first
one?
one,
Yeah, first one.
A tier.
A tier, definitely.
I mean, that's like right next to like the first Iron Man as like one of
Better
the
or
best
worse?
comic origins.
Better or
Like,
worse?
worst. I like the whole the fact that they actually showed majority of the movie
Yeah.
being in the war and stuff. So
Yeah.
instead of just
Him after
flashbacks
war.
or something like that, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The first Avengers movie.
See, I have it like a 95, but I don't know if a 95 cuts an S tier yet. But it's better than the first Iron Man for sure.
We can leave it at the top of A tier, and we can revisit it in a second if we want.
Okay, that's fine.
If we want to
I'm good with that.
reconsider it. Iron Man 3.
C tier,
D tier.
but it's a C tier. Yeah, it's not a great movie,
D.
and I hate that C.
Oh, C. I was about to say like.
Yeah,
Bro's
No,
pretty.
no, no.
Bro just straight up said.
I don't think it's like a great movie, but I don't think it's better than what do we have down there? Iron Man 2. It's better than Iron Man 2, but I haven't seen Guardians 3, so you can make that judgment.
Okay, here
I
comes.
I didn't like the fact that he gave up his suits and like
Yeah.
all that. Like that was just so stupid to
Yeah.
me.
Now here comes the.
You already know what that's gonna be. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
It's a pretty safe bet. I mean,
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Winter Soldier is just like literally Infinity War is probably the only one that's gonna top it.
Yeah. All right.
They're both like 99%. Like
Yeah.
they might be 100%. I'm very harsh on not giving superhero films 5 stars
Yeah.
because it's very difficult to
Hit a character so perfect.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first Ant-Man movie.
Okay, so I thoroughly enjoyed this,
Same here.
but I don't think that it's better than Age of Ultron. I don't know about Guardians 3. You can make that. This is a C tier.
I would say I enjoyed this one more than all the movies in C.
Really?
Like this would
Even
be
the
my
first
number one
Thor?
C. First
Even
Thor,
the first Thor?
It's very close to first Thor in my opinion.
So it's at least a C tier.
Yeah.
I'm good with you. If you want to put it above Thor, I'm good with you doing that.
The thing is, they're just so.
I think the first Thor movie had such good character
It
development.
did. It really did.
I don't think you can
Yeah, you
justify
can't really top
putting
that.
it above Thor.
Civil War,
A tier.
A tier. Number 1 A tier.
No. I still think the comic, like, the first,
Avengers.
I think Iron Man 1's better and the first Avenger is better. So it's better than the TV shows, but it's not better than the Origins. So one more right.
After the Origins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Good with that. First Doctor Strange. I say a
B tier, right behind Werewolf by Night. I mean,
yeah.
I haven't seen Werewolf by Night, so I can't make that judgment.
Yeah.
But
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
All right, this is coming from a very, very diehard Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
A diehard Spider-Man fan. It's a B movie. I don't think it's better than Moon Knight.
Yeah, I just figured like
Guardians, obviously, because Guardians sucks booty cheeks, but you know.
I mean, don't gotta disrespect my Guardians like that, but Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok's an A movie.
What is it?
A. I think it's better than Civil War. And it's like probably like tied with the first Avengers. The first Avenger, not the movie. Like I'm saying, like Captain America, the first Avenger.
I just heard an S after that one.
Yeah.
First Black Panther.
A tier. Yeah.
See, that's what I was feeling.
I think it's better than the shows, but I don't think it's better than Civil War.
Yeah. I vibe with it.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
S tier. Yeah, straight
better
up.
Better or worse?
What at?
I like the effect it had on society because this one became a worldwide phenomena. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think Infinity War and Endgame really started hitting that market of like non-superhero nerds and people who just like, oh, we just like need to see this $1 billion movie just because it's $1 billion movie. Yeah. And that's like where a majority of the like new Marvel fans come in.
Yeah. Endgame.
I'm good with S tier, but it's not better than Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Then we have Far From Home.
Slightly worse than the first Spider-Man movie. But they're like kind of they're kind of like just neck and neck. They're like back to back. They're not that.
Yeah.
They suffer from like the same exact problems.
Yeah.
So.
Captain Marvel.
E tier. That movie is so trash. Yeah. Movie's trash. It's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, but yeah, that movie's trash.
I'm trying to think.
Super rust because they only wanted to use her for Endgame. So I mean, I don't know.
Shang-Chi.
I didn't really vibe. Shang-Chi.
I would do number 1 in the B tier.
Better than Moon Knight?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is one of those movies that me and the family will just put on occasionally in the house and just watch it over again.
It did have some of the best action, like hand-to-hand combat scenes.
Yeah, and like that's something we've really been like lacking to me in like.
I'm not mad at that. I don't think it's definitely not better than Loki, so it's not an A tier. So I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. I also love our mindset. Like, yeah, this movie's either A tier or C tier, but it can't be a B. There's no way it can be a B. There was a moment where like B was just empty and like A and C had like 5 movies in it. I was like, dang, we don't want to give any movie that respect for a B. But
B films they're still solid films.
Yeah. No Way Home.
You want me to say biasly?
You can say biasly and then say if like actually like factually it changes you.
Biasly, it's S tier.
Right.
However, it doesn't have a great rewatchability
Yeah.
Like when you start the movie, you're kind of just basically waiting to see Andrew and Toby again,
Yeah.
right? So you're basically just waiting to like Aunt May just kicks the bucket, and then you're like, all right,
Yeah.
now the good part of the movie is in.
Yeah.
So it gets off to like a really slow start,
But picks up
um,
dramatically.
but it does pick up. Yeah.
So I would say probably
So
based on that.
I'd say A tier, but it's like the best movie in A tier.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't quite cut S tier, but it's like the best A tier movie.
Okay.
And that might just be for nostalgic reasons, but
Yeah.
who cares? Like, I mean, I was like 2 years old having a Spider-Man cover of Tobey Maguire. Like that
Yeah.
would literally kickstart my entire nerd life. So,
We got Multiverse of Madness.
okay, so originally I was gonna say C tier, and I'm not mad at that. I don't think it's better than Guardians, but I think it's better than Iron Man 3. Again, I haven't seen Guardians, so you can make that call, but I think that's a solid rating.
Yeah. Um. Just saying, I have held that Guardians of the Galaxy spot. You've said like 3 times that I can put a movie better or worse than it, and they've all been worse.
I give you that because I haven't seen it, and people tell me that I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy Guardians 3 a lot more
Yeah.
because I love Rocket.
Yeah. It's basically
And
feels
Rocket's like my
Rocket's
favorite
movie.
Guardian. It's like my Rocket's my favorite Guardian. So
Yeah.
they say I'm supposed to like it a lot more. We'll see because
Yeah.
I really have a special disliking of Peter Quill in my heart. So
All because of what he did in one movie.
all because of what he did in one movie, bro.
Mm. But if it wasn't for that, we never would have had Endgame, so I don't care what people say. um,
That's true. We did have one of the best comic book moments ever in Endgame. So
yeah. So now we have
Wakanda
Wakanda
Forever is
Forever.
like end of C tier. Like it's better than Thor: Love and Thunder, but it's not better than Hawkeye.
Okay.
Have you seen that movie?
I have,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like looking at it, for me,
It suffers from like a very long script
yeah,
and very slow pacing.
yeah,
And the movie just kind of went back and forth from like, oh, we attack Namor, Namor attacks us, we attack Namor, and then we end in a truce.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I felt like most of the movie was pointless.
yeah,
The best scene in the entire movie, in my opinion, was like when she went down to like his world and got like that whole tour
yeah,
of like the undersea world. Like that was beautiful.
yeah,
Obviously they dealt with Chadwick's death
the best
better
they
than I
could.
thought they
Yeah.
would. I didn't want them to kill him off, but I don't think they had a choice.
Yeah,
But I feel bad because I was like, this girl Shuri just lost her brother and her mother in one movie.
yeah,
And I was like, the writers were messed up because you can't avoid killing off T'Challa, but
yeah,
you could have avoided killing off her mom.
yeah,
And that really made me mad because she was already grieving so much on set by just having to film this movie without Chadwick.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, it was just, I thought it was a nightmare.
yeah.
It was just super slow paced.
Yeah. But anyway, there is our Marvel movie tier list. And how do you think we did Forever?
I'm actually not mad. Can you zoom out of this actually?
Zoom out.
Just like a tad so I can screenshot it. Or scroll down just so I can get the bottom of F tier.
I don't know my.
Scroll down just to, no, go
Yeah.
up. No, go down. Oh man, it's like
yeah,
messed up.
I don't really. I don't know which
Just go
button to
like
press.
slightly below the emojis.
Oh yeah, I can just use. I forgot
Yeah.
that I had this.
There you go. All right, I'm good. I screenshotted it.
Okay. But anyway, we've hit an hour, 4 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Wow. There's no way we pulled that off.
There's no way in
There's no
heck.
way we pulled that off. That is insane.
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing a couple of things, though.
Yeah, probably. But anyway.
I don't know why I feel that way. Yeah. Oh, we're missing the I Am Groot mini series.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was I Am Groot and
that's
Agent Carter.
Yeah. Not really Agent Carter.
I know Agent Carter didn't really mix in it because
if you add Agent Carter, you have
Agents of Shield,
right?
Because
you would have to add Agents of Shield, but they're not necessarily they're canon, but they're not canon. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, guys. This was a fun one. We had a blast doing this. It's something that I've always wanted to take the time and do. And thank you as always, Forever, for joining me on this.
Of course.
And all right. So guys, let us know in the comments what you think about our list. Drop your top 5 Marvel movies, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for when this next podcast comes out. So thank you guys, and we will catch you all in the next one.